Hello, Makilings! I am Makiling. How are you today? How's your day after answering your modules? Well, I hope we are doing fine. Today, we are going to explore another topic which is quite challenging for learners like you. It's about word problems involving polynomial functions. This video is intended to help you unlock difficulties that you've experienced while answering the module.
Hopefully, at the end of the lesson, we will be able to 1. Recall terms related to polynomials and polynomial functions. 2. Solve word problems involving polynomial functions. 3. Appreciate the importance of polynomial function and its application to real life.
Let us do some exercises to warm up our body and mind and at the same time, recall the behavior of the graphs of polynomial function. Are you ready? If you are, then follow me. To begin with our lesson, let us recall all the terms and concepts that are important for our lesson. Let's play Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?
For the first question, true or false? If a polynomial is written in standard form, they are written in decreasing powers of x. Okay, the answer is true. Always remember that if we want to express our polynomial function in the standard form, we must arrange our terms from highest degree to the lowest. Next, true or false? Zeros of polynomial functions are the same as the roots of polynomial equations. What is your answer? Yes, it is true. Any value of x that makes the equation or polynomial function true is a solution or zeros of the given equation or polynomial function. Another true or false question. The graph of any function must pass the vertical line test. Let us reveal our answer. Yes, you are correct. The answer is true. To easily determine whether a graph illustrates a polynomial function, we can draw a vertical line. If the line contains or intersects the graph, then we have a polynomial function. Next, synthetic division is a method for dividing polynomials into a binomial of the form the quantity x minus r. The answer is true. We have two ways to divide polynomials. One is the long division and the other one is by synthetic division. Last question. The graph of x cubed minus 6x squared minus x plus 6 have 3 zeros? Yes, the answer is true. The function has at most n real roots, meaning the degree of the leading term will also determine the number of zeros.
Problems are part of our day-to-day life. It is everywhere. That's why it is essential that we know how to handle and find the correct solution for it. Be positive that all problems have an equivalent solution. In mathematics, to be able to solve one, George Polya, a Hungarian mathematician, provided steps that we can use as a guide. First, identify the problem. You can identify what is being asked by reading the problem carefully. And determine what are the given that will help us to decide what we should do to solve it. Second, devise a plan. Find a strategy on how to solve the problem. Draw a diagram if possible. Make an equation that will satisfy your plan. Third, evaluate. Solve. Carry out your plan. Solve the equation that you formulated. Fourth, assess your answer. Look closely at your answer. Reflect and see if it is in accordance with the conditions and information that we have discussed. Don't forget to label your answer. Now that we already know all these problem-solving methods, let us apply them in solving some polynomial function problems.
The cost C of buying X kilos of rambutan is given by the function C of X is equal to 80x plus 2. Each kilo costs 80 pesos plus 3 pesos for the paper bag. How much will you pay if you will buy 6 kilos of rambutan? So, step 1. Identify the problem. You read the problem more than once. What is asked? How much will you pay if you will buy 6 kilos of rambutan? What are the given? Let X be the number of kilos to be bought. 80 pesos is the cost per kilo of rambutan and 2 pesos charge for the plastic. So, we are done with the first step. Next, step 2. Devise a plan. We can solve the problem if we will use the given formula. C of X is equal to 80x plus 2. Moving on, the next step is to evaluate. This is now the time that we will carry out our plan. So, since a formula was already given, we will just substitute our given to this formula. So let us substitute or replace X by the number 6, since we want to know how much we will pay for 6 kilos of rambutan. Third, after replacing X by 6, we now have C of 6 is equal to 80 times 6 plus 2. Next, we can now perform PEMDAX. Multiply 80 by 6 first, then add 2. And the result will be 480 plus 2. And that is 482. Fourth step is to assess. Check if your answer makes sense and all the information and operations were properly utilized. After doing so, let us conclude that if a person wants to buy 6 kilos of rambutan at 80 pesos per kilo with 2 pesos charge for the plastic is 482 pesos.
Were you able to follow? Was it clear? If not, let us try to solve another one.
Hannah learned how to bake cake in their TVL online class. She decided to donate decorated sheet cakes for COVID-19 survivors in their barangay. And she wants the volume of a small cake to be 351 cubic inches. The cake is in the shape of a rectangular solid. She wants the length of the cake to be 4 inches longer than the width of the cake and the height of the cake to be 1/3 of the width. What should be the dimensions of the cake pan? Now, to solve this problem, we will go back with our steps. So step 1, identify the problem. Read, and read. Reading several times will give you more idea about the question.
What is asked? What should be the dimensions of the cake pan? Meaning, we are looking for the length, the width, and the height. Since it was mentioned that the pan was a rectangular solid.
Given, let W be the width since it is the dimension that is independent or without any condition. It was also said that the length must be 4 inches longer than the width. So we can express the length of the cake as L is equal to W plus 4. We were also having an idea that the height of the cake is 1/3 of the width. If the width is W, then we can express the height as H is equal to 1/3 W. Next, step 2. Devise a plan. Since the volume of the rectangular solid can be presented as V is equal to the length times width times height, so by substituting the given, we have now a polynomial function V is equal to the quantity W plus 4 times W times 1/3 W. To solve this, let us simplify first. Remove the parentheses. Let us multiply W with the binomial W plus 4. And we have W squared plus 4W using distributive property. Then, multiply this result to 1/3 W. And it will give us V is equal to 1/3 W cubed plus 1/3 W squared. And this is our new polynomial function. Last, let us substitute 351 for volume. And we have now 351 is equal to 1/3 W cubed plus 1/3 W squared. Next, remove some fractions by multiplying both sides with the GCF of our denominator. Now, since we have similar fractions with denominator 3, let us multiply by 3. And the result is 1053 equals W cubed plus W squared. To transform our equation in the standard form, let us use subtraction property of equality. Let us subtract 1053 to both sides. And the result will be 0 is equal to W cubed plus W squared minus 1053. So, using symmetric property of equality, it can also be written as W cubed plus W squared minus 1053 is equal to 0. So, this polynomial equation will be used to finally find the value of our variable W. Rational root theorem tells us that the possible rational zeros in a given polynomial function or equation. In our problem, since P is equal to negative 1053 and Q is equal to 1, so positive negative P over Q, the possible zeros are 1, positive negative 3, positive negative 9, positive negative 13, positive negative 27, positive negative 39, positive negative 81, positive negative 117, positive negative 351, and positive negative 1053. We can now use synthetic division to test these possible zeros. Let's begin by testing values that make the most sense as dimensions for a small sheet cake. Use synthetic division to check. Let's start with positive 1. So, as you can see, the remainder is not 0. So it means it is not a zero or factor of our polynomial function. Since 1 is not a solution, we will check positive 3. As we can see, it's still the same. Our remainder is negative 990. Since 3 is not a solution either, since the remainder is not 0, we will test positive 9. Synthetic division gives a remainder of 0. So, 9 inches is a solution or 0 to the equation. We can now use the relationships between the width and the other dimensions to determine the length and the height of the sheet cake pan. For the length, L is equal to W plus 4. Let us replace W with 9. So, the length is equal to 9 plus 4. Therefore, the length is equal to 13 inches. And for the height, h is equal to 1/3 W. Substitute 9 for W and multiply it with 1/3. So the result will be 3 inches. Therefore, sheet cake pan should have dimensions 13 inches by 9 inches by 3 inches.
So how was it? It might appear challenging, but we must push ourselves to improve since problem solving is the weakness of many students like you. Now it's your turn. Let's see how much you've learned.
Last September was the National Cleanup Month as stated in Proclamation number 244, series of 1993. In support to this activity, Barangay Milagrosa, Calamba City encouraged every household from their barangay to devote at least an hour every day to clean their surroundings. They designed a garbage box to be placed per zone, with length x plus 3, width x, and height x minus 2. If the volume is 56 cubic meters, find the dimensions.
Let's see who got the correct answer. So here is our solution. Step 1. Identify the problem. We are asked about the dimension of the garbage box. Given the length x plus 3, the width is x, height x minus 2, and the volume of 56 cubic meters. Next, step 2. Devise a plan. Since the volume of the rectangular solid can be presented as the volume is equal to the length times width times height, so by substituting the given, we have now a polynomial function v of x is equal to the quantity of x plus 3 times x minus 2.
To solve this, let us simplify first. Remove the parentheses. Let us multiply the quantity x plus 3 times the quantity x minus 2. But you can also multiply the quantity x plus 3 times x or x times the quantity x minus 2. It will not affect the result. Actually, we will get similar final product. Now, going back to the quantity x plus 3 times the quantity x minus 2, with the use of FOIL method, we will get x squared plus x minus 6. Then multiply this result to x, and it will give us v of x is equal to x cubed plus x squared minus 6x. Last, let us substitute 56 for volume. And we have now 56 is equal to x cubed plus x squared minus 6x. To transform our equation in the standard form, let us use subtraction property of equality. Let us subtract 56 to both sides. And the result will be 0 is equal to x cubed plus x squared minus 6x minus 56. Using symmetric property of equality, it can also be written as x cubed plus x squared minus 6x minus 56 is equal to 0. So, in this equation, since the leading term is x cubed, in degree 3, so we have an idea that we have 3 zeros or solutions. So, by using rational root theorem, tells us that the possible rational zeros are positive negative 1, positive negative 2, positive negative 4, positive negative 7, positive negative 8, positive negative 14, positive negative 28, and positive negative 56.
We can now use synthetic division to test these possible zeros. Let us try only positive zeros, for we are talking about measurement.
Let us try positive 1. As you can see, it is not a zero or a solution for our function. Since 1 is not a solution, we will check positive 2. Based on the solution, 2 is not a zero since the remainder is not 0. We should keep on trying. Even if it seems impossible, we need to be patient. That's how it'll work. Let us test positive 4. As we perform synthetic division, we found out that 4 is a solution because our remainder is 0. Since our result shows 1, 5, 14, and 0, if we write our quotient, we will subtract 1 from the exponent of the dividend. Now, since the degree of our polynomial function is 3, subtracting 1 from it, therefore we have x squared as the degree of our quotient. Arranging it in standard form, then we have is x squared plus 5x plus 14 is equal to 0 is our depressed equation. And this depressed equation, x squared plus 5x plus 14 is equal to 0, is an extraneous root, meaning it is a solution you get in the process of solving that turns out not to be a solution of the original equation. There are no factors of 14 and 1 with the same sign that will be equivalent to 5. Moving on, synthetic division gives a remainder of 0. So 4 meter is a solution or 0 to the equation. So if x is 4, the width is 4 meters. Don't forget the unit since we are talking about measurement. For the length, L is equals to x plus 3. Let us replace x with 4, so L is equal to 4 plus 3. Therefore, the length is equal to 7 meters. And for the height, h is equal to x minus 2. Substitute 4 for x, and the result will be 2 meters. Therefore, garbage bags can have dimensions 7 meters by 4 meters by 2 meters.
Were you able to understand how to solve word problems involving polynomial functions? Let's see how far you have learned about the lesson. Let us enter Makiling Integrated School in Minecraft world. To be able to meet our hardworking principal for a prize, you must enter the school and explore the vicinity and be able to answer the questions per area correctly.
Let us start with the main gate. Number 1. To enter the vicinity, we should answer this question. What is the first step in solving polynomial functions? Yes, indeed you are correct. We must read and understand the problem carefully. That includes the given and some conditions that we should consider to be able to solve the problem. Let us visit Sampaguita's room. On the board, we are asked how many zeros we have in the polynomial function p of x is equal to 2x cubed minus 6x squared plus x minus 1. Since the leading term is 2x cubed and it has a degree 3, therefore we have 3 zeros. Let's move on to science lab. The problem states to give at least 2 possible zeros of p of x is equal to 3x to the 5th power minus x to the 4th plus 6x cubed minus 2x squared plus 8x minus 5. If you got any two form positive negative 5, positive negative 5 over 3, positive negative 1/3, then you are correct. Let us visit computer laboratory and answer this. Tricia May, a gymnast, dismounts the uneven parallel bars. Her height depends h on the time t, that she is in the air as h is equal to negative 16t squared plus 8t plus 8. Number 1. How high is Trisha after 1 second? If your answer is 0, then you are correct, meaning she will reach the ground. Number 2. When Trisha be 8 feet above the ground? If your answer is 0.5 second or half a second, you got the correct answer.
So these are some important concepts that we should remember in solving polynomial functions. We must have a clear idea about the so-called zeros, standard form of polynomial functions, and how to divide polynomials using synthetic division. It is a must that we should know how to divide polynomials to solve problems involving polynomial equations, either by long division or by synthetic division. And most of all, the 4-step solution in problem solving by George Polyak. Have you learned something today? If yes, that's good! Let me give a word to ponder by Vincent van Gogh. Great things are done by a series of small things brought together. So that's it for this learning session. Again, I am Ma'am Helen. Have a great day ahead.